So my name, Adam Monteith, I'm a physiotherapist. Been a physio, graduated in '03, so I've been doing this for 14 years, working in Sydney CBD. Physio and passion, why am I passionate? I was attending physios regularly as a kid. I played a lot of football, got a lot of injuries, was one of those injury prone guys. So I was in the physio practice quite a lot, and I saw kind of firsthand what the difference a physio could make to someone's life. And I guess I'm now on the other side of the table with controlled exercise, injury free at the moment, touch wood, and helping people that come in near tears or in tears and helping them walk out more confident. So in Sydney CBD there's obviously everyone that we see, the common trait is that they're in the city. 90% would work in the city, 10% would live in the city. And traditionally people who work in a city corporate environment have been sitting. The trend is changing, but you could largely say 90% of people that we see would sit most of the day. Can be enormous hours, anywhere from probably 24, 25 through into 60, 70. Prolonged sitting. So most people, as I said, there is a trend that's starting to change where sit to stand desks are coming into this corporate space more and more, but it's not sort of fully fledged as yet. I'd say the majority of people are still sitting. Yeah. I think finance is really the only thing that's stopping every single workspace fitting out sit to stand desks. So the majority of people are sitting for long periods of time, and I'm not sure they're completely aware of how often to be standing, how they should be sitting, when to take breaks, when to go for walks. Sitting for long periods of time, when we sit, we're going to put more pressure on discs in our lower back. There's no grey area about that, it's black and white. Yeah. When we're sitting right now having this chat, there is more pressure going through our lumbar discs right now than when we stand. Thoracic spines generally, it's okay when we sit, it's not moving, which is not great, but it's not as, the consequences aren't as dire for the thoracic as they are for low back. And then for neck, when we sit and we're looking at a computer screen, we tend to be chin poked, which will put more pressure on the joints lower in our neck and then also higher in our neck. So higher neck, headaches, blurred vision, dizziness. Lower neck, just pain and sort of referral, just not nice stuff. So I think when we stand, the spine will tend to revert back to a more normal position. It's kind of natural neutral. We'll certainly take pressure off the discs in your lower back. Again, there's no grey area there. When we sit, there's more pressure through discs than when we stand. So when we stand, we relieve pressure on the disc because our lumbar spine goes from that sort of flexed, rounded position into its more lordotic or slightly extended position, which naturally takes pressure off disc. So low back, much happier when we stand. Thoracic again is kind of that midway guy that's generally okay. But neck, the same thing. We probably go out of that protracted lordotic position where there's pressure in upper neck and lower neck, and we come back to a more neutral because we're not needing to lean in toward a computer screen. So generally a happier, more neutral spine. So patients normally don't present to us and say, I've been sitting for 8, 12, 14 hours a day for 5, 10 years and now I'm sore. There is normally always a straw that breaks the camel's back or a catalyst. For low backs and discs, it can be anything from putting on shoes and socks to putting underwear on to lifting a child in the morning to blowing nose to sneezing to brushing teeth to washing hands, picking up garbage, coffee table, kids' toys, you name it. We've heard pretty much everything, and again, they are little straws that break the camel's back. And you got to look about the whole. We as physios have to look at the whole picture, the whole person, and take into account their entire history. And that is, what do you do every day? How do you do it? For necks are a little bit different. It could be waking, it could be pillow type, it could be lifting and putting things above head. There are a few different catalysts for necks. It's not as probably common and classic as the low back ones, but yeah, there is definitely a catalyst in each of these pains, and sitting is probably not normally the one. So people don't necessarily associate sitting with the nasty pain they've got. They blame that sneeze or that sock, but it is what the damage that you do over time creates the straw scenario. How bad it can be. So pain can be nasty, and pain is a driver. When people are in pain, they want it gone and they will do almost anything. They listen to us. That's the time where they are most attentive. We can say jump and they'll say how high, and that's a good place. I mean, that's just to say that pain drives us to do things. When it's not there and we're starting to get better, people kind of get a little bit lazier. We get little nips, the pain can come back, and then we've got to get them back on the right track. How bad can it be? Low back pain, nasty, brings people to tears. The back pain itself can be sort of 6, 8 out of 10. We always talk about the out of 10 markers. But when the disc abuts a nerve, pain runs down the leg, that is when it gets nasty. Leg pain that's referred, and it's sort of the 9s and the 10s. We've even heard 11s, 12s, I've heard 20s, 100s out of 10. Brings grown men to tears. That's the kind of pain that low backs and discs can give. It's not good, and you really do want to look after your discs. Neck's much the same. I mean, headaches can be blinding, very distracting. Dizziness is not cool. But neck, and I've personally had neck, upper back, arm pain, it's not nice. People can't lift their head off the pillow. Ladies are in tears. It's a tough position for people to be in, and we have to help them get out of that place, and addressing sitting is part of that. Low back pain and discs, the classic thing is to be mindful of sitting and be mindful of how you do it, when you're doing it, how long for. So the key kind of tips we give people when they sit, so when you do sit, sit tall, use muscles, don't relax. Be mindful of the time, so when you sit down, take note of the time it is that you sat down, and you add on 20 or 30 minutes and know when you have to stand up. So you've got to be attentive to time. So sit tall, use muscles, note the time, stand up in 20 or 30 minutes. That's kind of basic, no-brainer back care really for me. So we're giving that advice regarding sitting. If we go up the chain a little bit, we're conscious of chin position, not sort of being poked and loading up upper neck and lower neck and looking at a computer screen. So there are a lot of things that go into the correct ergonomic position, but I guess they're the basics. Yeah. So we are constantly and always talking about the problems with sitting, and then the benefits of standing and doing that more often. And it's not to say that you should never sit, but it's just getting the balance right, and sitting should be a minority, standing should be a majority. So when people sit, they've got to sit tall and be mindful of time, stand up. We get us sitting, there's no need to sit at a workplace, I don't think. We get us sitting at different parts of the day, in meetings, coffees, at lunches, couch at home, travel, commute, whatever. There's lots of sitting in your day. But where you can control and where you can stand, stand. Get rid of sitting. We don't need to do it all the time, we're not designed to. So we are always talking about getting people out of sitting at work when they've got neck pains and back pains. And getting them out of sitting involves getting some form of standing desk apparatus. When it's at work and it's fixed or the company's provided it, that's great. But for people who require a portable function, then Zest Desk is in, and that is the product that we recommend. For people that we're seeing that's sort of more important for, are people that work from home, people that are mobile and go from a university to sort of an external job site, out here, a work site. But probably home is the big one. And I think people might have ergonomic assessments at work, and they've done that well there, but people are now tending to work more from home, and they've not got their work from home environment sorted at all. It's couch or dining table, and with kids around, it's fragmented and it's pretty ugly. And we're noticing people flare up their pains when they've been working from home on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and they're sore on a Friday. So getting the workstation set at home, if you're working from home, it's just as important to have your workstation set at home as it is at work. And if you can't lug your big sit-to-stand desk home, then you need something portable, which is where I think Zest Desk sort of plugs that hole. Yeah, so Andrew's using a Zest Desk. We try and practice what we preach. I've got a sit-stand desk. Kate has one, who's our receptionist, and Andy's got one. He's got a Zest Desk, just so that we can show people how easy it is to assemble, how small and compact it is, how sleek it looks. I mean, I think we have a reasonably smart clinic, and the products we have in there need to be higher end, need to look good, and I think Zest Desk fits that. And so Andy uses that. He doesn't have a chair, he doesn't sit, he doesn't have a perch stool, he stands all day, but he gets his sitting, he comes out here and he sits down for lunch. Like, he gets his sitting in, he doesn't need to sit at work, he's up and about. As physios, we're naturally there, but so he uses it, he loves it, it's great, he's not complaining, he hasn't asked me for a chair, so we're good. Yep, so we had a patient purchase a Zest Desk. He was a Very busy, fairly senior fellow in his company. He's out sort of constantly on work sites, external kind of job sites, and he had to have technology. He had to be working from a laptop, a computer. He had developed a back pain, essentially, and it was disky, so sitting down for him was making his pain worse. And if we couldn't stop him sitting, we sort of had a big stumbling block with getting him better with respect to his rehab. So we had to somehow find a way to stop this fellow sitting at the job site on his computer, because it wasn't helping us get his back any better. We want results and want them quickly, so we had to stop him sitting. He could not lug the sit-to-stand desk that he has at work inside the office space out onto the job site because it's too damn heavy and too damn big. So Zest desk was the perfect plug for that particular gap. It was portable. He took a bag with it. He could carry the thing down to the job site, unzip the bag, unfold the thing, desk pops up, computer on top, and he can work. Ticks the boxes for us because he can work where he needs to work and in standing and not sit. He has a product that is great, looks good, is functional, effective, efficient, and he uses it, and his back's getting a lot better, so we're winning and he's happy. Yeah, good question. I think, so I haven't ever had someone say to me that I'm getting sore standing too long. But I understand that standing all day for 8, 9, 10 hours straight is not a comfortable concept either. As I said before, I think we get sitting in different parts of our day, commuting, travel, coffees, lunches, afternoon tea break, whatever. It generally is a breakout room in an office. I mean, again, keep an eye on time. I think getting the balance of sitting to standing right is important and should be majority standing. I, for example, will say to someone at a very basic level, sit for 20 minutes and stand for 40, break your hours up that way. If it can be 30 minutes sitting and 90 standing, great. Work out what the person can tolerate. So if someone would come to me to say, my legs are getting sore or tired, doing this extended amount of standing, it's new for me, we'd build them into it or build them up. I guess if it's a tiredness, their bodies will adapt and get stronger and they will be okay. If it's a pain, then we need to address that. But essentially, I think someone who's all of a sudden thrust into a sit-to-stand environment is now standing a lot more. One, your body will adapt and you'll adjust. You will get stronger in that position as well. I guess if we're used to sitting and collapsed into a relaxed place and we've been there all day long and all of a sudden now I have to stand and use muscles, yes, I'm putting weight down and yes, that is new for me. But to say it's not quite, I'd say sort of man up, you'll be fine. That's not the approach. It's your body will adapt and you will get a little bit stronger and each day will be easier. But also maybe throw in little pieces of sitting or little blocks of sitting into your day. Time your morning break, your lunch break, your afternoon tea break. Go for a walk outside and just keep an eye on time. I would say, again, note time, be mindful of it. If it's 65 minutes after standing that you get a bit of an ache or a problem or a tiredness, drop it at 60 and go and either sit or go for a walk.